It's Wednesday, September 13. In the headlines in local news, PIOJ survey of immigrants from Jamaica. In business news, NCB announces APO. Regionally, PAHO marks Wellness Week. Internationally, hope of finding more survivors fading after Morocco earthquake. And in sports, Reggae Boys versus Haiti. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. There were more immigrants from Jamaica to Canada in 2021 compared to 2019. The information came out in a 2022 Economic and Social Survey from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, which was tabled in the House of Representatives recently. The survey says a total of 19,063 Jamaicans were granted visas for permanent residence or citizenship in the United States of America, Canada, and the United Kingdom in 2021. The survey says, quote, while USA remains the main destination country of choice, there was a 38.4% decline in the number of immigrants to the USA, end quote. The survey says analysis of the data by category revealed that immediate relatives to U.S. citizens remained the primary category of admission with 85.2%. This was followed by family-sponsored preferences, which accounted for approximately 7.4% of Jamaicans who obtained permanent residence status. British citizenship was granted to applicants under one of four categories: residence, marriage, entitlement, or discretionary. The 2021 immigration data revealed that a total of 1,549 Jamaicans were granted citizenship, a 22.9% decrease relative to the previous year. 33 primary level educators and 5 from teacher training institutions in Jamaica will join other educators around the region in a course designed to equip them with essential digital pedagogy skills. Jamaica's participants will be trained alongside their colleagues from Suriname and Guyana. Addressing Tuesday's virtual launch, Portfolio Minister Favour Williams said the collaborative venture marks a significant step toward Jamaica's mission to empower educators with the tools they need to thrive in the dynamic 21st century education landscape. The course comprises 15 thematic modules concentrating on the pedagogical methodology of a student-centered approach and digitally enhanced and online learning. Participants will be exposed to models and practices and also participate in lessons as learners. The course will be delivered by the University of Applied Sciences based in Finland and in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank and the Ministry of Education and Youth. The National Student Registration System, NSRS, was developed in order to capture demographic information about each student enrolled in Jamaican schools. According to the Ministry of Education and Youth, all students entering grade 1 must be registered in the NSRS. The Education Ministry has provided a video to explain how parents can get it done.
Here's how to register your child. Go to the school your child will attend and request an NSRS registration form. You may complete the form at the school or leave and return if you wish. Guidance will be provided at your school if needed. You will need the following supporting documents which must be handed in along with the registration form. A valid photo identification, preferably a passport, driver's license, or national ID, which must belong to at least one of the persons on the registration form, as well as the identification of the person completing and signing the form, if not the parents. The original, certified and legible copy of the student's birth certificate, which the parents have no more than 30 days to produce, if not available at the time of registration. You will also need an immunization card or child health passport. Wards of the state and special needs children should be treated as special cases and facilitated accordingly. Lastly, you will need a recent color passport photograph on the back of which the name of the child should be written, as well as certified by one of the following persons: a principal or teacher at the school from which the child is coming, a pastor, a nurse, a postmistress, a policeman, a doctor, a justice of the peace, an attorney at law. Once all your supporting documents have been submitted, along with the registration form, the school will review and verify your child's record, enter your data into the system, and register your child. The Ministry of Education and Youth will then generate and assign a 9-digit student registration number and issue a corresponding student registration card for your child once their record has been verified and their identity established. This is made available for you to pick up at your child's school after 7 to 10 working days. Having completed the full registration process, your child is now proudly in the system.
I am in the system. I am in the system. I am in the system. We are in the system.
The National Water Commission, NWC, is advising that it will be suspending operations at its New Mills pumping station in Hanover from 5 p.m. Thursday, September 14 to 5 p.m. Saturday, September 16. The NWC in a release says this is necessary to facilitate the repairs of a 4-inch pipeline on the network. As a result, customers served by this facility will experience disruption in their water supply during the period. The areas that will be affected are New Mills, Welcome, Cocoon, Narreri Farm, Haddington, Watford Hill, and Woodland. Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
NCB Financial Group Limited has announced its intention to bolster the bank's capital through an additional public offer (APO). In a notice on the Jamaica Stock Exchange (JSE), the group says the move is in an effort to sell up to 300 million new shares. The APO should raise the bank's capital by approximately 12% to over $200 billion. Currently, the closing stock price is $70 per share. Reports say the financial group decided to go the route of an APO following a board of directors decision on September 8, 2023. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Tuesday, September 12, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.44. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $114.86. The pound sterling traded for $195.64, and the euro sold for $168.05. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by over 526 points. The junior market index advanced by over 2 points. The combined market index declined by over 470 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by over 1,710 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 101 stocks, of which 38 advanced, 41 declined, and 22 traded firm. Stocks advanced for Blue Power Group Limited, Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited, and Caribbean Cream Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference, Epley Limited 7.25% preference shares, and Everything Fresh Limited. The overall volume leaders were Trans Jamaican Highway Limited and Carreras Limited with over 1 million units, alongside Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited USD with over 900,000 units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, 0 securities traded. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Cape Shepherd and Company Limited was the sole security trading over 11,000 shares. In regional business, in Trinidad and Tobago, a business leader is calling for the government to remove VAT from the retail sector. More in this report.
Chairman of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers, Vivek Charan, is calling for the government to remove VAT from the retail sector. Charan, speaking on CNC3's Morning Brew earlier today, said the government's inability to consistently pay out returns has had an adverse impact on many businesses, so the solution going forward should be to reduce the VAT.
For certain sectors and for certain types of businesses, VAT can remain in place. And then for others, replace VAT, let's say particularly for retail businesses, replace VAT with a sales tax, a lesser sales tax at this time. That removes the obligation of the repayment of VAT returns.
As it relates to the budget expectations, Vice Chairman of the Chamber, Ricardo Mohammed, says there has been no consultation on the upcoming budget with the private sector by the relevant ministries. Mohammed notes that key points must be factored in.
For example, the economic stimulus focus, which is very important. I believe, and we believe, that the 2023 national budget of Trinidad and Tobago should exhibit a strong emphasis on economic stimulus response and economic stimulus measures aiming to revitalize the country's post-pandemic economy.
In international business, Wall Street stocks ended lower as Oracle shares tumbled more than 13% after a weak forecast, and surge in oil pricing deepened worries about persistent price pressures ahead of crucial inflation readings this week.
The Dow dipped marginally, while the S&P 500 shed more than 0.5%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq dropped a full percent. Oracle shares plunged more than 13% to their lowest level since June, after the cloud services provider forecast current quarter revenue below targets and narrowly missed first quarter expectations. That weighed on cloud computing heavyweights Amazon and Microsoft, which each fell more than 1%. In other major tech news, shares of Apple shed nearly 2% after the company unveiled new iPhones while not raising prices as it faces a global smartphone slump. Investors now turn their attention to the August Consumer Price Index due Wednesday and the Producer Price Index scheduled for Thursday. Both could offer clues on the Federal Reserve's next moves on interest rates. While many investors fear another rate hike this year would throw the economy into a recession, Lorene Gilbert, CEO of Wealthwise Financial Services, believes that may be just what is needed.
Investors should stop hoping for a soft landing, because if we don't have a recession, our business cycle doesn't start again. Right now, we're in a late business cycle, which means that this is why we're seeing somewhat of a sideways market. The market doesn't know where to go. But when we reset and we have a recession and excess is taken out of the economy and out of companies, then we can reset again, start early cycle, see growth again, and see our stock prices go up again.
And finally, the most traded stock in the S&P was Tesla, with more than $36 billion worth of shares exchanged. Shares of the electric car maker dropped more than 2%.
In market data for oil prices extended 10-month highs driven by expectations that crude supply will remain tight for the rest of the year. Brent futures rose 57 cents to $92.63 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude gained 57 cents to $89.41. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, Barbados and countries in the region have been advised to address care as a human right and social responsibility as they move towards a stronger and fairer society in the post-pandemic recovery. The message was conveyed by Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Jabas Barbosa, on the occasion of Wellness Week of the Americas 2023, celebrated from September 9 to 15. Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA, Dr. Joy St. John, says the PAHO Wellness Week comes after countries in the region observed Caribbean Wellness Day on Saturday.
This year, we will celebrate for a whole month, encompassing Caribbean Wellness Day, Wellness Week of the Americas, and beyond, with a focus on care, with the theme, the care we need, the care we want. Implicitly, this requires that we must first have a community willingness to provide that care. Health promotion has a significant role to sow the seed and spread the word and the feeling of caring for your fellow human beings. Caribbean Wellness Day is geared towards increasing awareness and promoting measures among communities to address the epidemic of non-communicable diseases.
This effort will be an important step towards building a society that promotes equity, health, and well-being. My message today is that we must talk more about care. The care we want, the care we need, because comprehensive care is key to building stronger and healthier communities. And today is also an important opportunity to congratulate, recognize, and thank all the people who care, who take care of us, and whom we care for.
In the Bahamas, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville shut down talks of a dengue vaccine for the country, saying there is no program in the region of the country as it is not in an endemic area, meaning that the disease is in regular occurrence in the area. Our news has the details.
We reached out to the Pan American Health Organization to give us advice on the possibility of vaccines. And based on what is being discussed, we believe not being in an endemic area sought to exclude the Bahamas from a national vaccination program for dengue.
His comments come after former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands called on government to bring in dengue vaccines for people who want it. Dr. Felicia Balfour Greenslade, who leads the ministry's National Communicable Disease Surveillance Unit, doubled down on dengue fever not being endemic to the Bahamas.
The best example I can think of for the Bahamas, we have influenza. We have influenza cases throughout the year. But there'll be times when we would have more than the usual than we would expect, and we don't say we have an influenza outbreak going on consistently, but when we see that increase in number, that represents an outbreak of an endemic illness in the country.
Guyana recorded the highest growth rate in the world last year, and the International Monetary Fund now projects the economy will continue expanding extremely fast this year. This was highlighted in a concluding statement issued by the IMF following the 2023 Article 4 mission. Newsroom Guyana has the details.
With a rapidly growing oil and gas sector offshore Guyana, the South American nation is experiencing record levels of growth. And the International Monetary Fund projects Guyana will see another year of significant growth this year. In a statement issued after IMF staff visited Guyana, the IMF said, quote, following record real GDP growth in 2022, some 62.3%, the highest in the world, real GDP is expected to continue to grow extremely fast in 2023 at about 38%, unquote. In simple terms, real GDP measures a country's total economic output adjusted for price changes. Much of Guyana's growth is linked to its nascent oil and gas sector. This has been the case over the past few years, and the IMF noted that this sector will continue to expand in the coming years. The body also noted that the non-oil sector, which includes agriculture, fisheries, forestry, mining, and construction, will see expansions too. The statement also indicated the IMF's support for Guyana's developmental efforts, particularly through the low-carbon development strategy. Beyond low-carbon development efforts, the IMF statement also expressed support for the government's plans to improve the local business climate and address labor shortages. Reporting for the newsroom, Vishani Ragbir.
In international news, more foreign aid continues to arrive in Morocco, where the death toll from Friday's earthquake has risen to nearly 3,000. But relief efforts have yet to reach some remote areas that have been cut off as hope of finding survivors fades. Thoughts turn to the future of Morocco's earthquake zone. Al Jazeera has more.
The slow pace of a rescue mission that is fast running out of time. British crews that began work on Monday believe there are still lives to be saved if only the Moroccan army trucks carrying them can navigate these treacherous mountain passes. This journey was in vain. They reached a village that had already buried 10% of its population, pulled from the ruins of 90% of its homes. There was no search and rescue required here. Villages like Douzrou, built on steep mountain slopes, really never stood a chance as huge boulders like this came tumbling down the mountainside, falling onto ill-built structures like these, so that the only thing left standing is the mosque minaret. Most of the village mosque itself is gone. The road to Douzrou has only been cleared of debris for the past 24 hours, allowing NGOs in bringing help and relatives arriving from the city. Reunions are emotional as they discover for the first time who has lived and who has died.
Everyone has lost someone. There are lots of orphans and etc. But the real problem now is that winter is coming in literally 1 month. They are saying that it's going to rain tomorrow. So people, where are they going to live? That's the real question.
The needs here are immense, not just food and water, but shelter and sanitation. The earthquake tore into every facet of life. This is what's left of the village school. Doctors have arrived to assess medical needs. One of the most pressing concerns is mental health, as villagers focus their anxieties on what comes next.
Everything we owned is under the rubble. Everything we grew to eat is under the rubble. The day the rains come, no one will be able to reach us to bring food, and the people alive now will die of hunger.
For Aitem Barak Abdel Salam, the greatest worry is how to carry on.
I'm scared, really afraid. I'm thinking how to go on living. Our lives are gone.
From its mountain perch, what remains of Douzrou still commands majestic views. But for many, time has stood still since last Friday night, and these mountains and this sky, once admired, are now things to be feared. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, in the Atlas Mountains, Morocco.
In sports, it's a 2-2 draw result from Tuesday's match at the office between Jamaica's Reggae Boys and Haiti. The point saw Jamaica remain as leaders in the CONCACAF League A Group B points tables with 4 points after edging Honduras 1-0 in their first game last week, also in Kingston. Jamaica halved the deficit in the 52nd minute when a shot from Damari Gray was deflected into his own goal by Haitian defender Ricardo Ade. Then Jamaica's Bobby Reed converted a well-taken penalty. Haiti had exposed Jamaica in the first half, and 22-year-old Don Lucius shocked the hosts with 2 goals in a 3-minute span, scoring in the 12th and 15th minutes. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.